Hello everybody. I want to talk a little bit about a person called Igor Strohmayer tonight. And at least I think that this project is supposed to do that. That's why I was thinking in the last days a little bit. Because if you want to say something about a person, then it's actually immediately a question: what is somehow important, or what is interesting, what is the right thing to tell about somebody, or what is it important to know if somebody, which Skype contacts somebody has, is it important to know which kind of education somebody did, or what is his favorite dish, or how he's looking, or what if he's wearing t-shirts, or so Igor is a guy who is coming from Austria. He was born in a small village in Austria, and at the moment he is living in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, from where this talking goes to Montpellier now. And at the moment he is not here. He is working in Ljubljana at this time, but in this moment he is not here. He cannot be here tonight. When he was small, he had a fable for Scandinavian cartoon films. One of them was Vicky, for example. I'm sure that most of you know this TV program. Another one was this series called Niklas, a guy from Flandern. And another one, I forgot now the title of this third one. There was a third such kind of Scandinavian cartoon film for children. Doesn't matter. And he enjoyed very much to watch these programs. It's funny because in all these, in Vicky, also in this Niklas, it's always a guy who is somehow the hero, who is in the center, and who in the end always manages to solve out all the problems which appear during the film, or in all situations. And there was one very strange thing that happened once. He was watching Niklas in the evening, and it was one series in which the grandfather of Niklas died in the film. And after that series, he was completely in stress and completely sad, because he somehow didn't understand how it's possible that his whole family, his parents, his brother, that they all pretended as nothing happened. The life went on as if nothing would have happened, and the mother was cooking dinner for everybody, and everybody was happy and fine. And for him it was completely ununderstandable how this can be, if 1 hour ago the grandfather died. And this was somehow in the time when he started to realize something about how life functions. When he somehow became aware that also he will on one day be gone and die. And he asked, one day after that, he asked his mother that he has the wish that if he dies, that he is buried with one mouse. He had a toy. It was a small grey mouse, and he asked his mother that he would like to be buried together with this mouse if he dies, because then he would not be alone after dying, he thought. And somehow, after making this clear that he wants to be buried with this mouse, it was in a way okay for him to live with that thought. Yeah, with Igor it's like that. That sometimes it's hard to talk with him, because sometimes you have a feeling that one thing that you say is triggering something in his memory, and this thing is triggering something else, and then this goes like a chain reaction. So sometimes you tell something and he immediately has an association with something, and this association brings him to another story, and this story brings him to another association, and then it can happen that he's talking for 40 minutes, not realizing that he's talking for 40 minutes already. So this can be sometimes a bit exhausting in a conversation with him. When he was studying after school, he started to study in Vienna. He was completely crazy already at school. Already as a kid he was completely crazy on dancing. So this was always kind of a dream. His dream was to study dance, but somehow he didn't think that he could that he would ever pass this exam that you have to do, that you are accepted on the university, as he didn't have really a pre-education in dance, as he never took any ballet schools, ballet classes and so on. So he thought, okay, let's study music and dance education in Vienna. He moved to Vienna, but quite soon he realized that this has not a lot to do with what he wanted, because it was a kind of studies that were focused on pedagogical aspects, so on how to teach, on how to behave with small kids, how to make a plan for like a pedagogical plan to teach them movement and music things. So he knew very fast that this is not what he wants, but then still the question is what to do if not that. And he went to the main university, and he thought that he will just check which people are sitting in the courses of different kinds of studies. So he went to different classes in the university, in the frame of psychology or philosophy or languages and so on, and he was just sitting inside and somehow checking which people are sitting in these courses, because he thought, okay, if I don't know what I really want to study, then I will study that where the people are in which I would like to get to know, or with which I feel with whom I feel comfortable in a way. So that's how he came to study philosophy, because through this selection process, the students of philosophy somehow seemed the most comfortable and interesting to him. But still, after studying that for some time, still the wish for dancing didn't disappear and was hunting him still. And that's why on one day in the morning he just stood up and he thought, no, I have to try that at least. However, they will not take me, but let's try. And he called that he will come to make the exam for studying there, and that's what he did, and they accepted him. And that's how it came that he studied there. So he was for quite some time living in Austria till his studies were finished. He's crazy on chips. He's actually addicted. I mean, whenever he sees chips somewhere, he cannot stop to eat it until it's gone. You can actually speak concerning him about chips addiction. Yeah. He also likes to drink beer. He likes to mix black beer with yellow beer, so that it's half dark beer and half normal beer. And he is crazy on French philosophers. This started already when he was still at school, that he found a philosophy book somewhere, and he was completely into that immediately, and he read it through, and this stayed, and he still doesn't know why he is so keen on some French theoreticians. He also tried it with some Russian ones. He tried it with Jacobson and German ones, but in a way he always stayed with French philosophers. So this is a weird hobby, let's say. When Igor made love for the first time, he was 17 years old, and it was very opposite to how he imagined how he will sleep with a woman for the first time. He always thought that if he is making love to a woman for the first time, that he wants to have to know her quite well, and that he wants to have a kind of relation with this person which is longer than some weeks or days. In fact, he knew the woman he spent this night with for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, not longer than that. And it was actually the first time when he really felt a wish for making love with somebody. In this moment, when he really had this wish for the first time, connected with a concrete person, in this moment he had sex for the first time. So in a way the wish came together with the activity. The reason why he is in Slovenia now is because he got to know one woman in Estonia. He had kind of a scholarship, so he could go to Tallinn for a week to watch certain performances there. And in this week in Tallinn he met one woman who was also somehow involved in this festival that was going on there. And after that week, when he went back to his place in Austria, he started to a kind of mail conversation which was going on with this woman there, and this was growing and growing and growing, and after some time they met again, and that brought them to start a kind of Skype relationship. So this woman which he met in Tallinn is from Slovenia, and he was living in Austria at this time, so they actually didn't have a possibility to usually to meet somewhere, as the distance is too far. So they started to have Skype conversations every evening. They met at certain times in front of Skype, and they, in the beginning, they started to have conversations with chatting. After some time, they were talking, and then they decided to buy these webcams, and they had a kind of online meeting every day. He likes very much to sleep at night naked.